Husband pretends to have amnesia to leave with nothing. I directly agree. Walking away with $1 billion. The day Chen Chuan got into a car accident coincided perfectly with the return of his lifelong white moonlight idealized first love Wang Lan. When he woke in the emergency ward, his brain wasn't damaged, but his heart was utterly corrupted. He told the world he had amnesia, claiming to remember nothing of the past except his youthful, unforgettable white moonlight. Standing by his hospital bed, I hadn't even had time to utter a word of concern before he recoiled in disgust, his eyes estranged and harsh, as if I were some clingy piece of garbage. "Stay away from me," he said coldly, deliberately mimicking the arrogance of a young man. "I'm only 20-3 now. I don't know you, this old woman. Even if I have to leave with nothing, I will divorce you." I froze in place, putting on a perfect act of panic and helplessness. The next second, rows of semi-transparent bullet comments appeared before my eyes, dense and piercing yet brutally clear. The male lead's white moonlight is back and pregnant with his child. He's just pretending to have amnesia to dump the original wife legitimately. Male lead is the ceiling of deep love, for true love. He abandons $1 billion fortune, choosing to leave with nothing to pursue romance so satisfying to watch. Just wait. The female side character will think he really lost his memory, desperately trying to awaken his memories of their 12-year marriage. In the end, she'll achieve nothing. Watch them fly away together and be driven mad into a mental hospital. The female side character is finished this lifetime. Unable to live without a man, she'll eventually have to crawl back, handing over the $1 billion fortune just to get the male lead to glance at her. After reading all the comments, my heart turned icy, but my face relaxed into a smile. In my past life, I had believed his lies about amnesia, clung to him desperately, and tried to awaken his memories. I was humble and devoted, only to watch him marry his white moonlight, while I was swept out the door, left with nothing, consumed by depression, and meeting a tragic end. This time, I was wide awake. Divorce? Leaving with nothing? Perfect. He walks away with nothing. I walk away with $1 billion fortune. He'll find a real 20-3 sold puppy love boy, living a life of luxury and freedom. Who cares about this 30-5 old man with his dirty heart? I looked up, my smile gentle but my tone crisp. "Okay, let's get a divorce." Chen Chuan was stunned, a flash of disbelief in his eyes before it turned into barely suppressed joy. His voice trembled as he raised the volume, countering me. "Say that again? You agree to the divorce?" He had styled his hair to hide his mature executive slick back, replacing it with a youthful fringe, trying to play a naive boy. But the fine lines around his eyes, the rough, oily skin from late nights, and his slack jawline, everything screamed 30-5, with not a hint of youth. Looking at his exhausted face pretending to be young, I felt a wave of physical revulsion and nearly gagged. Suppressing my disgust, I maintained a dignified smile. I said, "I agree to the divorce. Didn't you lose your memory? You forgot our 12-year marriage, forgot me, the wife who built a company with you, and now only remember your white moonlight. I won't stop you." Chen Chuan's face stiffened, a trace of panic flashing in his eyes. He hadn't expected me to agree so readily. Pretending not to notice, I continued calmly. "So, let's break up amicably. I grant you freedom to be with your white moonlight, on one condition. You leave with nothing." I listed the assets detached lie. My logic flawless. The total marital assets are $1 billion, including all liquid shares of the group, 5 standalone river-view villas downtown, and 10 luxury cars worth over $1 million each. You abandon all of it. Real estate, liquid funds, investments. Clean break. Sign now, and I won't drag this out. Chen Chuan's eyes flickered as he struggled internally. That was $1 billion fortune. The foundation he had fought for half his life, but the thought of his returning white moonlight, the child in her womb, and the freedom from marital bonds made him grit his teeth. Putting on a look of self-righteous sacrifice, he said, I don't want these external things. As long as you agree to the divorce and I can be with Wang Lan, I can give up everything. He wasn't done, adding a demand to assert his authority, and I warn you. After the divorce, you are not allowed to approach me. You are not allowed to dig up the past to awaken my memory. And you certainly aren't allowed to stalk me. Let go quietly and live your own lives. The bullet comments surged again, predicting my doom. Male lead has the biggest heart. Money is nothing. With his ability, he can earn $2 billion in a year. He doesn't care about this small change. Don't worry. The female side character is just being stubborn. She's actually crazy in love with the male lead. She'll end up crawling back on her knees, handing the billion back to him just to get him to look at her. I bet the cent she doesn't dare sign, she'll be crying and begging to stay, unable to bear leaving the 12-year relationship. Looking at the comments, I just curled my lip coldly. Dare to leave? I couldn't wait to move out overnight, and never see him again. Without another word, I dialed my assistant. Bring the divorce agreement over. Standard, leave with nothing clauses. Now, less than a minute later, the assistant rushed in with the printed agreement. I picked up the pen, making my hands tremble slightly on purpose, forcing a layer of tears into my eyes to act the part of a heartbroken, dignity-minus clinging wife. I signed my name swiftly and cleanly. Finishing, I pushed the agreement in front of Chen Chuan. Sign it. I agree to all your terms, no entanglement, no disturbance, no looking back. Didn't go to the Civil Affairs Bureau immediately. Hurry up and sign, I thought frantically. Don't delay my plans to enjoy my fortune. Chen Chuan took the bait. Seeing my trembling hands and weary eyes, he became convinced I was heartbroken and forced into compromise, his sense of superiority soaring. He raised his chin, looking like he was in complete control, his tone carrying a false pity. I knew it. You love me so madly, you can't live without me. $1 billion minus dollar fortune is nothing compared to me. Sumeng, pity you. I don't remember anything. And to me, you're just an irrelevant stranger. Entangling now is meaningless. I listened silently, my heart dead calm, just urging him to put pen to paper. The more I acted, the more convincing I became. Finally, unable to bear the thought of me breaking down and ruining his plan, he grabbed the pen and signed his name fiercely. Terrified I would change my mind. After signing, he put on a deep act, sighing pretentiously. Sumeng, our fate ends here. I am the man you can never have in this lifetime. Take care of yourself. Suppressing my inner joy, I stood up impassively. Let's go. The Civil Affairs Bureau. The assistant checked his watch, looking troubled. Chairman Su. It's 4:30. The bureau closes at 5th. With rush hour traffic, we'll never make it. How about tomorrow morning? I transferred 100,000 yuan to the assistant on the spot. My tone decisive. Get there before 5th. Figure it out yourself. Seeing the money, the assistant's eyes lit up with zeal. Rest assured, Chairman Su, he'll take the back roads. Guaranteed on minus time service. We sped through the streets and arrived just as the bureau was closing. With the red divorce certificates in hand, one for each of us, I felt a weight lift, a sense of ease I had never known. Chen Chuan looked relieved on the surface, but inwardly, I was thrilled to be reborn wealthy. The moment we stepped out of the bureau, a fleshy figure threw herself at us. The white moonlight, Wang Lan, wearing a gaudy floral dress, threw herself into Chen Chuan's arms like a colorful butterfly, her voice sickeningly sweet. Darling, you're finally free. We can finally be together openly. She then turned her head and planted a loud kiss on Chen Chuan's face, staking her claim in public. Chen Chuan cooperated, deepening the kiss to provoke and humiliate me. I watched with cold eyes, not a ripple in my heart, and turned toward the Ferrari waiting nearby. The assistant rushed forward respectfully, opening the car door for me with a beaming smile. With $1 billion in hand, a luxury car at my disposal, and freedom in my grasp, The whole world seemed gentle. The bullet comments went wild again. Waiting for my breakdown. Why isn't she losing it? Why isn't she pulling hair and slapping faces? She needs to make a scene, get thrown in jail, and end up in a mental hospital. Just pretending to be calm. She's actually eaten up with jealousy. So, what if she has money and a car? Woman without love is a failure, doomed to loneliness. I glanced at the comments and nearly laughed out loud. Failure without love? I have self minus love, strength, money, and freedom that is top minus to success. For the rest of my life, I will only love myself and live freely. Just as I was about to get into the car, a pungent, cheap cilantro perfume hit my nose. Chen Chuan rushed forward, grabbing my wrist tightly, his strength stiffened, unyielding. Su Ming, is that all? Just leaving like this? He frowned, pretending to be deep and reluctant. Don't you have anything to say to me? I know you must be devastated after the divorce, but actually, Before he could finish, Wang Lan stepped forward, pretending to be weak and kind, her tone dripping with fake guilt. Sister Su Ming, I really understand you. I know you've loved Chen Chuan for 12 years, and now he's forgotten you and only loves me. You must be in agony. If you want to cry, just cry. I won't mind. She put on an air of magnanimity, granting permission like a queen even if you can't help holding Chen Chuan for comfort right now. I'll allow it. I'll make an exception and let you be the other woman for a day. Just promise not to entangle us again or destroy our feelings. High and mighty, she looked like a victor bestowing charity on a loser. I raised my eyes, expressionless, and spoke plainly. My voice cleared despite its quietness, nothing else. Just one thing. Chen Chuan, you left with nothing. At that, Jane Lang's triumphant smile froze on her face, the color draining away as she turned paper, minus white. She looked at Chen Chuan in disbelief, her voice trembling. Left with nothing. What do you mean? You didn't get anything? The houses, the cars, the company, the money all gone? Chen Chuan was stunned, only now realizing that in his lovesick frenzy, he had actually signed away his entire fortune. Panic set in, and he instinctively tightened his grip, trying to pull me back. Su Ming, wait. Let's talk. The property. My eyes turned cold. I raised my hand and shook him off violently, without mercy. There's nothing to talk about. I looked down at him, my tone detached. You wanted love, I wanted money. Each got what they needed, we owe each other nothing. You voluntarily left with nothing. It's in black and white, signed and sealed, legally protected. Now, stay away from me. Shang Lan completely lost it. Her face changed faster than a book, and she immediately screeched at Chen Chuan. Are you insane? No house, no car. No money, what am I supposed to live on? I'm pregnant. How will you support me? How will you support the child? Chen Chuan was at a loss, trying to soothe the furious white moonlight while begging for my forgiveness. Looking utterly pathetic and stuck in the middle, I couldn't be bothered to look at him again. I got into the car, slammed the door shut, and cut off the farce. The Ferrari's engine roared as I drove away. In the rearview mirror, Chen Chuan and Wang Lan were tearing each other apart, hurling abuse, a complete mess. The bullet comments fell silent, no longer daring to predict my fate. I leaned back in the luxury car seat, pulling out my phone to arrange a vacation. With $1 billion in hand, my prime years ahead, and the promise of handsome men, fine food, and beautiful sights, I had everything I needed. Who needs a man who doesn't love them? This lifetime, I will only be rich, beautiful, happy, and never look back.